All right, so let's review the question. We swam at Busra waterfall. And so you could see where it's green, that is correct. Where it is red, that is incorrect. And so if you're looking at this, we have the subject we, the verb swam, and at Busra waterfall, this gives us the preposition at Busra waterfall, gives us the object. Object of the preposition is a noun. If you guys have any questions, please ask away as we're reviewing the answers. That's wonderful news. Okay, and here we have that. That's not really a subject. It's a demonstrative. Here we have is. Is our verb, and our real subject is actually over here, news. Okay, and if we look at news, is news something that we can really see or touch or taste or feel? And so in this case, it falls into the category of abstract noun. And you could see that 4 people got this right, and then 5 chose concrete and count nouns. When I feel tired, I drink coffee to wake up. This one's a little tricky because you'll notice within this clause, this dependent clause, we have a subordinated conjunction when, we have a subject I, the verb is feel, and then we have tired. And so some of you might consider that feel here is like an action verb, but it's not really an action verb. In this case, it's more like a linking verb. And so I and tired equal the same thing. In this case, tired is actually an adjective to describe I. And so some of you might have thought that tired was an adverb. It's actually an adjective. Tina looks well. She had a good rest. In the case of good and well, good is always an adjective, well is always an adverb. Okay, and that's something you're going to have to remember. In this case, you'll notice that good comes right before the noun. It modifies the noun. Good is an adjective. Well comes after the verb, and it modifies the verb. In this case, when it comes to how we feel and stuff like that, well is an adverb. So our answer here is adverb plus adjective. And a lot of you guys got this right, so that's good. Place the envelope here. Okay, so the subject is you, the verb is place, we have our object, the envelope, but where should we place it? So in this case, this actually modifies the verb place. And you'll notice in terms of location of it, it comes way after the verb. It comes after the object of the verb. This is an adverb that allows us to know where we should place our item. And so about half of you guys got this right. Which shirt should I wear? Remember that which looks like a pronoun. The problem is that for its function, it is not a pronoun. It comes right before the noun shirt, because which comes before shirt, it actually describes or modifies the shirt. So it allows us to know, to distinguish which one to choose. And so here, which is an adjective to modify shirt. Every time you see something that looks like a pronoun, if you have a noun right after it, the function changes to an adjective. And that is what a lot of you will have to remember. And so about half of you guys got this right. Nobody wants to blame you. In this case, many of you guys got this right, so that's good. This is the subject of the sentence. Here we have our verb, okay? And then here we have the rest of the sentence. And so this is the subject. It is the pronoun. Pronoun can also be a subject. And so we have our subject, we have our verb, we have the infinitive, and then we have the object of the infinitive. May I have that blueberry donut, please? Notice here, that looks like a pronoun. But what follows that? What follows it is a noun. So an object, some kind of noun or object. And so in this case, when we have that, that refers to the donut or the blueberry donut. Blueberry is the adjective, donut is our noun. And so that modifies the noun. Okay. And so in this case, it is an adjective and it is a demonstrative adjective. This and that. These and those. All of those are demonstrative adjectives when we have a noun following those words. During the rainy season, I carry my raincoat in my bag. Okay, and so in this case, raincoat refers to all of these. Here we have subject I, carry, verb, raincoat is the object. Okay, and this object is something that you could touch. You could wear it, and so this is a concrete noun. It does not have a name for it, so it is also a common noun. You can count the number of raincoats, so it is also a count noun. Plus, it has two words combined. We have rain and we have coat. So this is also a compound noun. So all of these refer to raincoat. I've got some bad news. Okay. Here we have our subject I, have got, verb, and then some bad news. That's the object. Okay. In this case, we have some to tell us the number for news, but can we count news? And so can we say, I have one bad news or I have two news for you? I have many news for you. I have much news for you. In this case, news, that's just how we call it. We call it news with an S, but it's actually not plural, it's a singular. May I have some? Notice here, do you have a noun after some? In this case, some stands on its own. There is no noun, so that means that some does not describe anything else. When it stands on its own, it functions as a pronoun. Okay? And so a lot of you guys got this right, and that's good. I'm going to be late. Drive. This is conversational. So it's just like when you talk to your friends. When you talk to your friends, you're probably not going to be thinking about if the grammar is accurate or not. And so when you talk to your friends, most likely you're going to be using the adjective form and then you add ER. And so you would probably say drive faster. And many of you guys got this right. That's how we talk. We say drive faster. But if you write it down, make sure not to write it like that. But if you talk, it's okay. So this is only for talking, not for writing in an essay, okay? when you do go out there for business, you want to make sure that you use the proper form. And so if you look at the previous one, we use the adjective fast, and then we added ER. But when we actually conduct business, or when we write something in our essay or in a professional letter, we want to use the adverb form. And so we don't use fast or faster. Rather, we use this one is a proper adverb form. And to make it an adverb, we want to say quickly. So it's quickly. Please work quickly. If you want to compare it to something else, you can also say please work more quickly. And so both of these would be fine. A herd of sheep screamed, "Bah! Bah!" when I came near them. And you'll notice here, did you come near one sheep or did you come near many? And as you can see here, many sheep, because we have them. Them refers to sheep. And so that's a clue to let you know that this is a plural form. And a lot of you guys got this right. Sheep could be singular. It could also be plural. And in this case, a herd, there's a group of them. Screamed ba ba when I came near them. So you actually have two clues. One is a herd of, that means it's a big group of them. And then the next clue is that it says them. And both of these refer to sheep. Can we talk one-on-one? And so if you can see here, the subject is we, our verb can talk, and this refers to the verb can talk. How can we talk? We're talking about talking one-on-one. And you'll notice that this refers to talk, which is a verb. Verb is talk. The word that refers to the verb is the adverb. So many of you guys got that right. That is correct. When it comes after the adverb, make sure that you do not use a hyphen. So it should just be spelled one-on-one like this. No, don't put a dash. Now, notice this time one-on-one comes before meetings. Meetings here is the subject of the sentence. And so meetings is the noun here. One-on-one comes right before the noun. In this case, one-on-one refers to meetings. That means that it modifies meetings. A word that modifies a noun is an adjective. And so about half of you guys got this right. I talk to myself when I'm bored. Notice here we have I as a subject. Talk is a verb. When we have to myself, this refers to the subject I. And in this case, this is a pronoun. A pronoun that refers back to the subject is what we call a reflexive. Just like when you guys look in the mirror. If you look at the mirror, if you're the subject, you look in the mirror, your image comes back to you. So any action that you do, if it comes back to you, or whatever the subject does and goes back to that subject, it becomes a reflexive pronoun. So this is something that all of you need to remember, since most of you guys got this wrong. Compare that to this question. Tylenol is a trusted brand. Okay, so we've given some kind of statement here. And we want to have some kind of evidence. And this could be something that businesses do. It may not be legitimate, but they might actually use this and they consider this as being some kind of reference or evidence. It might not be evidence, but it could be reference. And so what they're doing is they're using people they think are important. And so in this case, a doctor. And so we're talking about the drug Tylenol. And then we have doctors. Doctors recommend this. Okay. And so this statement sounds okay, but if we add themselves, that statement gets more emphasized, and so it gets stronger. And so we could say doctors recommended, but to make it stronger, we say doctors themselves recommended. And so you notice that I have to put kind of like a heavy sound when I say themselves. Okay. And so that means that I've accentuated this pronoun here. And so when we accentuate or we emphasize that pronoun right after the noun that it refers to, we call this an intensive pronoun. And so this is something that you need to look at. Looking at this one right here, a pronoun that refers back to the subject, which is called a reflexive pronoun, compared to a pronoun that emphasizes the subject. Okay? And so this is usually used as some kind of reference or some kind of point that we're trying to make. And so this might be used in business, okay, an intensive pronoun. When we're married, what's yours is mine. Your house is my house. So here we have what is yours. Notice here, after our verb, we have yours. This is actually the subject of this sentence. What is not really the subject? Yours is the subject. Yours is mine. And so here, this is our pronoun. Now, your house is my house. The subject here is house. Your is actually modifying house, so that makes this an adjective. So this means we have a pronoun plus we have an adjective. And so we have about over half getting this right. Okay. I'm so happy to see you. Okay. Here, I, verb, this is a linking verb. Happy is an adjective. And so this tells us I happy. In this case, this allows us to know the degree of being happy. And so a word that allows us to know degree of another word, which could be another verb or another adjective, this is an adverb. An adverb could also modify an adjective. It doesn't always have to modify a verb. It could modify an adjective as well. And so this tells us to what degree we are happy, how happy we are. And I guess that is it. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much a review of all of the questions that we just went over on the quiz. If you guys disagree or don't really understand some of these questions, let me know in the chat.